That is audio of the final call from June 30th, 2013, marking the deadliest day for firefighters in Arizona history.
Yep, 11 years since the Yarnell Hill Fire suddenly turned and overran 19 members of the Granite Hill Hotshots, killing them. It was the deadliest day for first responders since the 9/11 attacks.
KTAR senior news reporter and wildfire expert Jim Cross covered that tragic day. And so, Jim, what do you remember when you first arrived on scene?
It just it's still 11 years later. It still feels like yesterday. That night we got in there after the fire had trapped them in that canyon in Yarnell. We were told once we got there late at night that the firefighters had been lost, 19 of them, which was a shocking number. One survived. That was a lookout who was escaped death in this. But again, it was, as Jamie mentioned, worst loss of life, first responders since 9/11, worst loss of firefighters, wildland firefighters, since the 1930s.
Jim, describe what the terrain is like there. Are we talking ponderosa pines? Are we talking scrub, juniper? What are we talking about?
Desert brush, salt cedar, mesquite, high desert type country. It's down in elevation from Prescott, so you don't have so much the pine trees in there, but it was incredibly dry. They were in a canyon trying to put this fire out when a thunderstorm miles away turned the wind around on them and trapped them in the canyon, and they had no escape.
And had to deploy their shelters, right?
Yeah. I mean, imagine it was a horseshoe-type canyon, a mouth out of it. But once the fire turned back on them, it pushed them in the back of the horseshoe, and there was no way out. And they deployed the shelters, but in that intense heat, those shelters are good to about, I believe, 1,200, maybe 1,500 degrees. I think this fire was burning considerably hotter than that. That canyon was basically a cauldron.
Yeah, you called this deadly event a fluke. No one really expected this, right?
No. I mean, they were, looking out ahead of the fire. They had homes. They still lost 125 homes in this fire. There were many more homes out in the Peoples Valley area and Yarnell that did not get destroyed, and that's what the firefighters were trying to save and did. But the wind, they were in that canyon doing their job, trying to protect those homes out in front of the fire, and that thunderstorm about 30 miles away just turned everything upside down.
Jim, you've been back to the area over the years. How does it look now? And if somebody wanted to visit the memorial that was built where they died, how hard is it to get back in there?
That's a walk. You go in on a trail out of Yarnell. I mean, it's quite a hike. But for those that have been back there, it's well worth it to see this memorial, the tribute to them, to see where this actually happened. When I went back in there about a month after that fire was out, that canyon was just full of brush and trees and all kinds of stuff. When they were in there fighting the fire, there was nothing beyond maybe a 3 or 4 inch stump. When we went back in there, the canyon had been just obliterated. The rocks, huge boulders around it, just scorched. A lot of black marks on those. Looked totally different, but yeah, it was a day I'll never forget when that happened. We got up there at nighttime. For those familiar with that, you come down 89A out of Prescott, wind down through the mountains, and it was 10 or so at night, and it was so bright in Yarnell that it looked like the lights of Phoenix off in a distance. So it was something I will never forget.
Thank you very much, KTAR's wildfire expert, Jim Cross, who covered that story. We're talking about yesterday being the anniversary of the Granite Mountain Hotshots losing their lives in the Yarnell Hill Fire. Now, yesterday there was a dedication of a brand new memorial, Peter.
Yeah, that's right. And it's called the Granite Mountain Hotshots Memorial. And this one is different from the one Jim described. It's on the Yavapai County Courthouse Plaza in Prescott. And the monument features a statue of a firefighter in full gear. It's a bronze statue. And he's standing in front of a granite slab, which makes sense. It has the names of the 19 firefighters who lost their lives. And at 4:42 yesterday afternoon, the courthouse bells rang 19 times in honor of them. And this is the monument is also, the new one is near the Granite Mountain Hotshot Tribute Center. And that's been around for 6 years now. It features photos, plaques, equipment, mementos to keep remembrance alive of what happened on June 30th, 2013.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.